feeling talagang for pro-Philippines. But at the very core, she's just anti-Duterte. It's the start of a new week, pero bago po natin simulan ng ating week, let's take a look back sa mga nangyari last week. Hot na topic po yung impeachment case ni Sara na wala na, bokya na, sarado na. Hindi na po matutuloy sa ngayon kasi vinote po ng Senate na i-archive yung impeachment case. We're gonna talk more about that. But before that, punta muna tayo sa balitang showbiz. RC Muñoz at Sanya Lopez ginulat ang mga Pilipino dahil sa kanilang transformation ng kanilang mga muka. Ito sila, no? Maganda na, pero hindi pa rin kontento. Ayan, nagtatransform na yung mukha nila. Ilang transformation na kaya ito? Huwag na po tayong magulat kung sa 2030 maging kamukha na nila si Sanderford. Kasi okay na yung mukha but kailangan pang ibahin. Well, pera naman nila yan, so wala tayong magagawa. Abangan lang natin by 2030 kung ano nang mukha nila. Balitang sports naman, PBA magkakaroon ng 3-year ban sa mga players na hindi magre-renew sa kanilang current teams wherein inoferan sila ng kanilang current teams ng valid offers. So for example, kung sino man yung PBA player na merong up for renewal sa kanyang contract tapos binigyan siya ng valid offer ng kanyang team tapos re-reject niya ito kasi pupunta siya ng ibang bansa to make more money, magkakaroon po, mababan po siya because of the 3-year ban. Yan po ang bagong rule ng PBA. Astig feeling ng PBA, NBA sila kung makalagay ng 3-year ban. Like, honestly, no? The last time I watched a PBA game was when I was in high school. I think before year 2000 pa at the time. So, anong taon na ngayon? It's 2025. It has been 25 years or over 25 years since the last time I watched a PBA game. Honestly, this league is a dying league and because of this 3-year ban, I think pinapadali lang nila ang kanilang kamatayan. Next topic naman, ito nakakatuwa talaga to si Auntie Claire Castro, yung about sa Kuwait kasi hinahanap nila si VP, di ba? Ito yung nakakatuwa kasi ang VP technically is just a spare tire, di ba? Kung merong mangyari sa president, is siyang papalit. So, yung nakakatuwa kasi hinahanap nila palagi si VP. Di ba pilit nyo nang sinusuka si VP tapos ngayon hinahanap nyo. Tapos merong balita na nasa Kuwait daw siya. And ito, tingnan natin. Watch this video. It's really funny.
Sinabi niya na gumagawa ang kwento, no? Ang Office of the President, PCO, ay gumagawa ng kwento na sinabi daw natin na siya ay nagbiyahe sa Kuwait.
Ang Vice Presidente na pumunta sa Kuwait, no? Sa Kuwait ng August 8. Pero as we speak, wala pa pong naihahain na request for travel authority ang Vice Presidente.
Nagbintang kasi siya ng negatibo sa Office of the President at sabi niya magawa kami ng kwento. Definitely, wala tayong binanggit na siya nag-travel sa Kuwait. At tatandaan natin, tayo ay natanong lamang noon, nung Sabado bago tayo pumunta ng India, na magbabiyahe ang Pangulo, ang Vice Presidente, papuntang Kuwait. So wala tayong sinabi, wala tayong confirmation about that dahil wala tayong alam.
Ito si Auntie Claire, palagi niya nakakalimutan that she is speaking in behalf of the President. And she just freely speaks her mind. Sinabi, like walang confirmation all, sinasabi lang niya kung ano ang nasa kanyang puso. And it shouldn't be like that. Kasi nga, you represent the President. But then again, baka yun din yung utos sa kanya. Just feel free to speak your mind. Kasi gustong ilihis ng landas yung atensyon ng government from the President to kay Claire Castro. Yun siguro yung plano. Just like before, I think it was Gloria's time wherein meron siyang speaker then, well, not speaker of the house, but like a spokesperson rather. Nakalimutan ko, it was an old man. Alam mo yun? Like he also, at the time, he was also speaking his mind. Kaya na-divert yung attention from Gloria Arroyo sa kanyang spokesperson. Like you can just search his name, I forgot. But I think, was it the spokesperson or maybe it's just like DOJ secretary? I'm not sure. But it was an old man. It could be the DOJ secretary or it could be a spokesperson or her spokesperson kasi it was Gloria Arroyo. I think that yun yung naaalala ko at the time wherein that was the strategy. Kung gusto nilang i-divert yung attention from the president, naglalagay sila ng isang tao wherein that person says something na parang kagimbal-gimbal or scandalous masyado, kaya na-divert yung attention. Maybe this is what Claire is doing. Ito naman tayo sa infra project. So, di ba, ang daming projects noon when it comes to infrastructures, yung flood control projects, di ba? Yun yung pinakahat. Tapos, ibinunyag ni Mayor Magalong na merong anomalies na nangyayari, yung mga porsyento na natatanggap ng bawat sangay ng gobyerno kapag merong infra projects. Sabi niya is willing to lead the infrastructure corruption probe. Now ngayon si Senator Marcoleta sa head ng Blue Ribbon Committee. Ito maganda to. Kung gusto nyo talagang malaman yung nangyayari, this is the right time. Mas mabuti pang ito yung pag-usapan, no, kaysa yung impeachment. Kasi ano ba yung mabuting na maidudulot ng impeachment ni Sara? Gagaanda ba yung buhay ng Pilipinas? Like magkakaroon ba ng maraming trabaho? Titigil ba yung corruption? Di ba hindi naman? Yung goal lang naman ng impeachment is to make sure that Sara will not be able to run for president sa 2028, which is impossible to do. Kasi nga, di ba, the government currently spends billions, if not trillion already to destroy Sara, but Sara is still at the top of the survey. So hopefully matuloy itong infra probe, corruption probe para malaman na natin. Kasi marami ng mga contractors, diba? Mga congressmen na tapos sila pa yung contractors ng sarili nilang projects. Pag-usapan naman natin si BBM. But before we talk about him, intermission number muna kay Usek Claire Castro. Thank you. Maraming salamat po sa intermission number. Usek, munta naman tayo kay BBM. Ito, magandang balita. Ulat ng ABS-CBN News. Marcos says to slowly bring down Philippines' 1.27 trillion peso debt. Ang daming zeros nun. Hindi lang millions, billions, but 17 trillion pesos. And he's going to slowly bring down the debt. Well, how will he do it? That we don't know. Wala tayong alam. Like, maybe he knows something that we don't know, but as far as I know, the debt is not going down. It's going up. If you've been following the news, umutang na naman po, BBM. Well, umutang na yung government, but it's his administration. At alam niyo ba kung anong kanyang inutang? Pinayagan po ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas ang $5 billion in foreign loans to fund roads, flood control projects. So it's going to bring down slowly our 17.27 trillion debt, pero uutang ng US 5 billion pesos. I'm sorry, $5 billion to fund roads and flood control projects. I mean, hindi ko alam kung aware kayo or hindi, but the flood control projects have been a disaster. Like, sunod-sunod yung bagyo nangyari. And you can see all those, I don't know if you could, but wala pong effect yung mga flood control projects na ginawa ng government ni BBM. And if you look at the pictures, you will see yung baha, yung mga dike na sana ititigil sa baha, sira-sira. Alam niyo ba kung sinong natutuwa sa mga flood control projects? Hindi ko na sasabihin kung anong relasyon nila sa presidente, but they look so happy. Napakasaya po nila. Ito lang, pinost ni Jay Sonza, High Tone Construction and Development Corporation, co-founded by Christopher Kikuko, yung brother of former chairperson of House Committee on Appropriations sa Bicol, Party List Representative Elizalde Co, has secured a total of 22.05 billion DPWH contracts for projects like roads, flood control, bridges, multipurpose buildings, etc. from 2023 to 2025. Bawa, kung 22 billion pesos yung masecure mo sa DPWH, talagang abot tenga yung ngiti mo, di ba? Imagine, walang kahirap-hirap. Automatic, meron ka agad project kapag yung kapatid mo ay isang kongresista. Dahil sa dami ng mga contractors na nasa Congress, ay meron ng bagong salita na nagawa. At ang word of the year ay tinawag na contractor. It is a noun. Ito ang ibig sabihin ay kongresista na contractor ng sarili nilang proyekto. Astig napaka-proud pa nilang sabihin na let's follow the Constitution. Pero ito, alam mo ba na yung congressman or politician is not supposed to be a contractor sa government because it's conflict of interest. You can check our law, it's there. And if you dig deeper, you will see that 410 billion congressional insertions sa DPWH 2025 budget. Meron pong 410 billion. And then 268 billion pesos ay ginawa, guess who, nina late Representative and Speaker Martin Romualdez at ako Bicol Party List, Zalde Co. The usual suspects, yung dalawa yan. Pero meron ba tayong narinig sa mainstream media? Meron ba tayong narinig na investigative journalism kung saan napupunta yung mga budget sa DPWH? Wala. And if you look at the people, members of the board ng mga mainstream media, check nyo kung sino ang nandyan. And you will understand why. Pero good news pa rin po. Kasi again, PBBM will slowly pay the 17 trillion peso debt ng Pilipinas. So it's still a good news. Slowly, he's going to pay it. And another good news, apat na investment pledges na kuha ni President Bongbong Marcos sa kanyang pagbisita sa India. Pledges, 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 as they always say. Tandaan po natin, pledges such as the investment commitments and agreements secured by President Marcos from his India visit are not guarantees in a legally binding sense. There's a possibility na hindi matuloy yung kung ano man yung promise. But yeah, we can only hope for the best. Just like we can hope that he will pay the 17 trillion peso debt ng bansa. Nakaka-stress na po ito. Nakaka-stress ang mga balita na nangyari last week. But merong mga good news. Care of BBM. I'm tired. Papasukin ko ba ulit si Claire Castro para sa intermission number? Later. Ito, pag-usapan natin. Kabulastugan. Pio Balbuena. Gagawa ng t-shirt at ibebenta niya ng 50,000 pesos. So, diba, meron siyang tambay cup before. Magkano kaya yun? 15,000 or 25,000? Kalimutan ko, I didn't follow it that much. Pero ito ngayon, magbibenta siya ng t-shirt worth 50,000 pesos. A tambay t-shirt worth 50,000 pesos. And if you check the comments, ito nakakatuwa. I'm not a fan of Rendon Labrador, but minsan natatawa ako sa mga comments niya. Ito yung isa sa mga comments niya. Mura masyado bro, Pio. Lugi ka. Dapat 100,000. Deserve mo yan. 100,000 for a shirt. Ito kapag 100,000 yung t-shirt, dapat meron na tong nakadikit na mga gold bars. Kasi kung t-shirt lang, katulad nito, like cotton lang, like it's not worth 100,000 pesos. Dapat merong either gold bars na nakadikit or merong Wi-Fi, unlimited Wi-Fi sa Globe and Smart, or merong kasamang Ivana Alawi na nakaakbay sa shirt, yung live na Ivana. Alam mo yun? To be worth that much for a shirt. Ito, another kabulastugan. DA Agreement Contract number 05022025-65. Ito, pinost ni SAS. If you look at section 1.A, Purchase of 29 peso rice. So the fund shall be utilized to purchase rice at a ceiling price of 42 pesos and 2 centavos per kilo to be sold to vulnerable households at 29 pesos per kilo. So, nakalagay dito, kung babasahin nyo, yung government bibili ng 42.02 pesos per kilo. Ito yung max na gagastos nila per kilo sa whoever's selling the rice. Tapos, ibibenta nila ito sa mga vulnerable households for 29 pesos. So, if you do the math, lugi po ang government ng 13.02 pesos. So, imagine kung bibili yung government natin ng billions sa mga rice dealers. Isipin nyo na lang po kung gaano din karami or millions yung lugi ng government. Ito yung 20 pesos na pinagmamalaki ni BBM. So, he's going to do this to achieve his promise at the cost of the Filipino people. Lalong lulugmok sa utang. At syempre, yung matutuwa, yung mga dealers. Which I'm sure, close friends sa kung sino man yung head nito. As we all know po, no, the impeachment complaint is unconstitutional. So, hindi na po siya mag-proceed. Itong pinagtataka ko, kung bakit nagkaroon pa ng plenary yung Senate, kung saan pinag-uusapan nila kung itutuloy ba nila yung impeachment or not. But for me, it was not supposed to happen. I mean, I'm not a member of the Senate. You have to understand that the decision from the Supreme Court already stated that it's immediately executory. Like immediately executory. I know we talk about forthwith, but right now it's coming from the Supreme Court kung saan yung impeachment case is unconstitutional. And the only way for Senate to proceed with the impeachment is kung merong articles of impeachment, if it's valid or not. But since binasura na ng Supreme Court yung articles of impeachment, ano pa yung pag-uusapan nila sa impeachment? Ted na natuloy, di ba? So, ano yung pag-uusapan nila? Wala namang articles of impeachment. Like to those who are not aware or familiar or have an idea what articles of impeachment is, yung pinaka-simple lang na explanation, articles of impeachment, yun yung nagdedetalye kung saan nakalagay doon yung mga complaint o reklamo mo against sa Vice President. Kaya mo siya ipinapa-impeach. Since binasura na yun ng Supreme Court, sinabi na it's unconstitutional, so it's already gone yung articles of impeachment. Diba? Sinabi na it's void ab initio, meaning it's void from the start. Kasi mali yung process na ginawa in filing an impeachment. Kasi nga because of the 1-year bar rule. So dahil doon, it's unconstitutional. So wala ng articles of impeachment. So again, kung nag-proceed yung Senate sa kanilang impeachment against Vice President Sara, ano yung mga reklamo na gamitin nila to tackle the impeachment against Sara? Wala na. Wala na nga eh. Walang articles of impeachment. Walang reklamo. Diba? Kasi normally, pag merong, in layman's term, no, kaya merong settlement na nangyayari kasi merong reklamo, merong problema. So kung walang reklamo, walang problema, ano yung isi-settle? Ano yung pag-uusapan? Ganon lang yun eh. So that's why I'm confused bakit nandyan pa si Risa Hontiveros, sila Kiko, trying to explain kung like we should i-pause muna, wag muna nating ibasura yung impeachment and all. And it's void from the start. Wala nang reklamo. It's unconstitutional. Ano pa yung pag-uusapan ninyo? Diba? The only thing you could do is just file another complaint or impeachment sa next year, which is February 6, 2026. That's the only way. Kasi if you're waiting for motion for reconsideration, you think na 13-0, you think there's a chance na ma-reverse yung decision ng court or ng Supreme Court. It hasn't been done before kung saan yung Supreme Court ni-reverse na lang ang kanilang decision sa isang case wherein it has been void from the very beginning. Yun yung explain ni Marcoleta. You can just watch his video. In-explain niya doon ng mabuti. So, yeah. So, kung nagkaroon ng plenary yung Senate, the only thing they could have done was just to talk about how are they going to follow the decision of the Supreme Court, which is with the dismissal of the impeachment or the implementation of the decision of the Supreme Court, which is to immediately execute yung pagbasura ng impeachment complaint. So that was the only thing that they should have been discussing. Hindi yung paano pa ipoproceed yung impeachment. Kasi nga, wala nang reklamo. It is unconstitutional na nga. Paulit-ulit kong sinasabi kasi maraming hindi nakakaintindi. Kaya ulitin ko ulit. Wala nang reklamo against the Vice President. So ano pa yung pag-uusapan ng Senado? Gagawa sila ng sarili ng reklamo against the Vice President. Hindi naman pwede yun kasi mag-i-initiate yun sa House. And then sa House, mali yung process. Kaya unconstitutional. Paulit-ulit lang ako, I get it. But I hope you get the point kung bakit hindi na pwedeng mag-proceed yung impeachment. And dahil doon, papasukin ko na ba si Claire Castro ulit? Or hindi pa? Anyway, let's just listen to Tambi about sa kanyang speech.
With full respect to the Constitution, in defense of institutional balance, and in the name of the Filipino people, the House of Representatives has filed a motion for reconsideration before the Supreme Court. This is not an act of defiance. It is an act of duty. We do not challenge the authority of the court. We seek only to preserve the rightful role of the House, the voice of the people, in the process of accountability. Let us be clear. The Constitution says the House of Representatives shall have the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. That power is not shared, not subject to pre-approval, and not conditional. Yet, in GR number 278353, the Supreme Court ruled otherwise, based on a misreading of facts and a retroactive imposition of the new rules. On February 5, 2025, the House transmitted the fourth impeachment complaint, filed and signed by 215 members, to the Senate. Only after this transmittal did we archive the earlier three complaints. The sequence matters. It proves there was only one valid initiation, not four. Even the court's own precedent, Francisco versus House, supports this. Only one impeachment can be initiated, and that initiation begins with a one-third endorsement or a referral. That is exactly what the House did. The court also said the Vice President was denied due process because she was not furnished a copy or given a chance to respond. But nowhere in the Constitution is that required before transmittal. In fact, in all past impeachments, the trial and the right to be heard take place in the Senate. To invent new rules now and apply them retroactively is not just unfair, it is constitutionally suspect. Let me say this with candor. A government of laws cannot allow any branch to become the judge of its own accountability. The Supreme Court is a co-equal branch of government. Its wisdom is deep, its authority is real. But its members, like the President and the Vice President, are also impeachable officers. When the court lays down rules for how it or others like it may be impeached, it puts itself in the dangerous position of writing conditions that may shield itself from future accountability. That is not how checks and balances work. We filed this motion for reconsideration not to provoke, but to protect. Not to assert supremacy, but to restore balances. Because if impeachments can be blocked by misunderstood facts or rules made after the fact, then accountability is not upheld, it is denied. To dissent is not to defy. To demand accountability is not to destabilize. To insist on constitutional integrity is not to weaken democracy, it is to strengthen it. We speak now not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. The House will not bow in silence.
Well, you have been silenced, and the decision of the Supreme Court prevails. Gaya ng sinabi ng Integrated Bar of the Philippines, the Constitution does not require agreement, demands adherence. So Martin Romualdez provided some points kung bakit sila nag-submit ng motion for reconsideration. It's how they understood the Constitution. But let's step back a bit. Let's try to understand. Sino ba yung authorized na mag-interpret ng Constitution? Yung House of Congress ba? Yung Senate ba? Yung Presidente ba ng Pilipinas? Hindi po. Ang authorized mag-interpret ng Constitution ay ang Supreme Court. And that's how the Supreme Court interpreted the Constitution. And that's how they proceeded with their decision na unconstitutional yung impeachment. So again, marami pong abogado, hindi abogado, mga dalubhasa, legal luminaries, merong celebrities and all that. They were giving their opinions about the Constitution. But then again, who are responsible for interpreting the Constitution? It's the Supreme Court. And whatever the Supreme Court decides, we adhere. That's just it. And if you heard the part kung saan sinabi ni Martin Romualdez that, Supreme Court justices are also impeachable officials, it's a threat to our Constitution. It's a threat to our democracy. Kasi imagine, the people authorized to interpret the Constitution are being threatened by a Speaker of the House kasi hindi niya nakuha yung gusto niya. So if Martin Romualdez wins because he threatened the Supreme Court, he threatened the Constitution, he threatened our country, then the Filipino will lose. Kasi if he can defy it, what else will he not defy sa future? So kung pwede niyang hindi sunurin yung Constitution, pwede niyang hindi sundin lahat. Kasi imagine, it's the Constitution already. And it has been decided by the Supreme Court. At ito pang si Jonel. Si Jonel. Wala na. Hindi na ho ata ginagalaw si Leila ni Jonel. Kaya ito, sabi niya, maaari nating simulan o sino mang interesadong partido ay maaaring magsimula ng proseso ng impeachment laban sa Supreme Court justices. So imagine, if you look at closely, the Supreme Court justices, they were selected by the president, but they are their own person. Got to that level because they've been through a lot, so many experiences with the law. Like they live, eat, breathe, the Philippine law. Yung batas ng Pilipinas. They won't reach that part if they're not good at what they do. And for you to threaten them because they were doing their job, it's an insult not only to them but also to the Filipino people. Kasi imagine, kung ganun man talaga ang sitwasyon, like our Supreme Court or our Constitution is being headed by incompetent individuals. Again, kung ganun man nga ang pagtingin ng mga tao sa kanila. Basically, what De Lima, Martin Romualdez, and the rest have done to the Supreme Court is basically to tarnish their reputation. Dinudumihan nila yung reputasyon ng Supreme Court. And I may not agree with the Supreme Court's decision, but they're the Supreme Court. And I believe, and it's important for us to respect their decision and to obey them. Kasi kung walang maniniwala sa Supreme Court, walang susunod sa Constitution, then we're no different than animals na walang mga batas. Tsaka gaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina na bakit pa nag-plenary at nag-usap kung paano i-proceed yung impeachment ng Vice President kung wala ng articles of impeachment. At ito, sinabi ni Supreme Court Associate Justice Henry Paul Inting, sabi niya, it would have to proceed based on the articles of impeachment by the House that no longer exist. Kasi nga, binasura na, di ba? Kasi unconstitutional na. So ano yung gagamitin nila na articles of impeachment sa Senate kung wala nang articles of impeachment from the House? At dahil nga binasura na yung impeachment against VP, yung mga baby boys ni BBM, tumalak. Ito, isang example, si Joel Chua, yung Manila City 3rd District Representative, yung napagawa ng barangay hall sa Bangketa na hindi approve. Ito yung sabi niya, ang na-deny po ng due process dito ay taong bayan. At sabi po ni Harry Roque, gasgas na ang taong bayan. Unahin ninyo ang kahirapan at baha. Which is true. Puro kayo taong bayan. Inasan ba kayo nung bumaha? Di ba wala naman kayo? Nandun lang kayo somewhere, nag-i-enjoy sa inyong mamahaling location or mamahaling bahay. Ito, another baby boy ni Tambi, Tingog Party List Representative Judah Sidre. If the impeachment case is dismissed, then it's to the country's loss. I beg to disagree. Sinunod po ng mga senador yung utos ng Supreme Court. It is the country's win. Kasi nga, it goes to show na talagang gumagana yung constitution natin. Gumagana yung batas. At yung batas po ay kung ano yung nakasulat sa constitution natin. At kung ano yung inutos ng Supreme Court. At ito yung isa sa pinaka-favorite ko, isa sa mga pinakamatalinong tao. I'm not talking about Cheese, ha? Kasi siya yung nasa screen. But yung tao na nag-share ng sinabi ni Cheese. So yung sinabi ni Cheese is, our country's leaders cannot afford to be consumed by politics when so many of our kababayan struggle simply to make ends meet. Ito yung caption ni Cielo Magno. With all due respect, Senator Escudero, many of our kababayan struggle to make ends meet because the money that's supposed to help them exit poverty are corrupted by politicians. Example, confidential fund. Ang kailangan ng bayan sa mga politiko ay political will para panagutin ang mga kawatan. Kaso wala kayo nun. Okay. Confidential fund daw. Sino ba yung merong mga confidential funds? Because hindi lang po si Vice President. Meron din confidential fund yung President and yung yung confidential fund ni BBM is 4 billion pesos? So think about that. So ito si Cielo, no? Ito nag-feeling talagang for pro-Philippines, but at the very core, she's just anti-Duterte. Kasi kung talagang against siya sa corruption, diretso siya sa ulo ng problema, which is yung President. Kasi yung presidente natin is incompetent. Tapos yung budget, yung pera, si VP ba yung may hawak? Hindi. Yung may hawak po is yung si Martin Romualdez. Hindi, silang dalawa sana yung tinitiran niya. Kasi yung si Vice President, spare tire lang naman siya, diba? Again, all of this is just political. Kasi nga, by 2028, wala silang itatapat kay VP. And Cielo Magno, no. We can see you. We can see through you. And we know what you truly are. You're not for us Filipinos. At nasaan po ang presidente natin sa mga panahong iyon? Wala po. Hindi po natin mahagilap. Ito na lang po yung kanyang sinabi. Problema nyo na yan. That situation does not really involve me. What? Yung pinsan mo, yung pasimuno, di ba? Nagsimula dun sa House. Tapos yung anak mo si Sandro Marcos is House Majority Leader. So, paano kang walang pakialam? Anong ka? Tanga? Yung Vice President mo po yan. Vice President po ng bansa. Yung gustong ipa-impeach ng pinsan mo. Tapos wala kang pakialam. At ito naman, Daily Tribune, nagpapakitang gilas. So, caption po nila is, impeach complaint is now officially dead just like your chances in 2028. Meaning kung sino man yung tatakbo against VP Sara, wala talagang chance. Again, it's still in 2028. By 2026, pwede pang mag-file ng impeachment. Just follow the process. See if it works out. But then again, kapag pumunta naman or umabot talaga sa Senate, granted, finalo ng House yung impeachment process, do you think they have the numbers to impeach Vice President? They don't have the numbers. So again, it's just a waste of time. So from here on now until 2028, all they have to do is just keep on attacking Sara, which again, Filipino people are so tired. Just like what Daily Tribune is doing right now, holding the rule of law. We are deeply grateful for the unwavering stance, but he delights in those who are truthful. Signed, Mary Grace Piatos, Carlos Miguel Uwashi, etc. Ito yung nakakatuwa, no? Because these are the people na talagang hinahype ng BBM aligned people or BBM supporters na merong anomaly na nangyayari because of the aliases. You have to understand, again, people already know this, but some do not, so I'm gonna explain this again. You use aliases because, again, it's confidential and it's an intelligent fund. So, ibig sabihin, itong mga taong ito ay binibayaran to get information from people na delikado. And once they write their real names, pwede silang hanapin at ipapatay. That's the purpose of the alias. Si BBM, meron din confidential fund yan. Go, tanungin nyo rin siya yung mga taong binigyan niya ng kanyang confidential and intelligent fund. Tignan natin kung walang mga pangalan doon na nakakatuwa din. Baka meron doon mga Maria Ozawa Honda or merong Steven Tyler De Castro or meron doon Kawasaki Jack and Jill. I-check nyo because that's the reason why people are using aliases to protect their identity. It's for protection. So again, I don't have to explain this but I have to do it again kasi nga katulad nitong Daily Tribune, there are people like this that keeps on spreading disinformation and then people who don't really care about it just think that, yeah, something's going on because of these names. Man, this is so tiring. Nakakapagod pag-usapan ng impeachment. Papasukin ko na ba ulit si Claire Castro? I'm so tired. Ito na lang, pag-usapan natin. Ito nakakatuwa. Mawindang kayo. Shinare po ni Richard Poon. Okta Research from April 2025 to June 2025. President Ferdinand Marcos, yung rating niya ay 64%. Tumaas ng 4%. Sara, bumaba ng 4%, so 14% na lang. Martin Romualdez, tumaas ng 3%, naging 57%. Tsaka Senate President Chis Escudero, bumaba ng 4%, it's now 11%. So, isipin niyo mabuti, no? Incompetent president, and then the worst budget in history of the country. Not the worst, but the biggest and scandalous budget in history. Tapos tataas yung rating nila. Doesn't make sense. And it happened from April 2025 to June 2025. Nako, ewan ko na lang sa mga taong maniniwala sa survey ng Okta Research. O yan, marami pa pong topic pero hindi ko na po pag-uusapan kasi medyo nakakapagod na. And let's just enjoy the week. Maraming good news na mangyayari ngayon kaysa bad news. And I'm gonna leave you with a song from our favorite Ante, si Auntie Claire.
Ay nagulat ng buksan ng pinto, sayaw ng mga tao'y biglang nahinto. Buhok mo'y Gucci, talampa kay Gucci, suot mo'y gawan ito'y di nanggaling kay Elo.
Sabayan natin si User Claire!
Bongga kaday, sige lang, itaas ang kilay. Bongga kaday, sige lang.